so excited for a hips class tonight. We're gonna do 45 minutes focusing on the hips. And yeah, with that, just make sure that you're set up and ready to go. I've been using a pillow just for extra support lately. So if you wanna go and grab a pillow, feel free to go and do that and meet me back on your mat. We'll start in child's pose, so find your way into your first child's pose. You can draw your toes together at the back of your mat and take your knees out wide to the edges, or even wider than the edges works too. Walk your hands forward. And then just rest your forehead onto your mat. If you're feeling like that's a little bit too much for the quads or the knees, you can always tuck your pillow underneath of your hips for a little bit of added support. And tonight we're just gonna focus on taking it back a notch. Taking it back to just the simple things like the breath. Awareness of our breath, awareness of our body, and just letting our thoughts come and go as we practice tonight. See if you can breathe really deep into your whole torso, right all the way down into your lower back. You might let a few really long, big sighs go. And you can start to walk your hands over towards the right side of your mat. All the way over. And then bring your right hand right on top of your left hand. And just rest your head on the outside of your left arm. And then breathe really big into your left rib cage. Staying present on your mat. Not letting the thoughts drift into past and future. It's whatever you're thinking about, it can wait. All right. Inhale, breath, bring your arms back through the center. And all the way over to the left side, and then just start to bring your left hand on top of your right and your right ear onto your right arm. And then breathe really big into your right rib cage. Nice. Your next inhale, start to walk your hands back through to the center. Take an inhale breath. And with your exhale, start to lift yourself all the way up into your downward facing dog. Nice. You can bend into your right knee and bend into your left knee. Just loosening up into the ankles, the knees, the hips. Great, and then just pause in some stillness. Your knees can have a slight bend, or they can be working towards straighter. Just depends on how open the back of your body is. Let your head fall heavy and just nod your head yes. One more breath here. And with your exhale, start to walk your feet towards your hands at the front side of your mat. When you get there, soft bend in your knees, halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, bow forward. Another inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. You can have your hands on shins or hands at the floor, whatever works. Great, exhale, bow. And then we'll inhale to roll up, nice and slow. One vertebrae at a time. Right, and reach your hands all the way up to the ceiling for a tall mountain. Your exhale, full forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. And fold and step back into your downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, lift up your right leg. Bend your knee. And then make big circles with your right hip. Nice. And step your right leg in between your hands. Tap your left knee to the floor. And bring your hands all the way up towards the ceiling for a low crescent lunge. Nice. 2 more breaths here. Feeling your right heel draw towards your left knee and your left knee draw towards your right heel. And 1 more breath. Inhale, fill up. Your exhale, take your hands to your mat. Step back into a plank. Nice, and then come back into your child's pose. 1 breath in. 1 breath out. Nice. Coming all the way up into your downward facing dog. You need to lift up your left leg, inhale. Bend your knee, open the hip. Feel your left shoulder drawing towards your mat as you lift your left knee high and make big circles to your left leg. Great. Step your left leg in between your hands, knee over ankle. Tap your right knee down. Reach your fingertips up for your low crescent lunge. Feel heel draw to knee and knee to heel. It's like both of your legs are pulling towards the middle of your mat. Take an inhale. Nice. With your exhale, take your hands to your mat. Step back to high plank. Nice, open your knees wide and come back to your down dog. Take a full breath in and a big breath out. Great, inhale, fill up. And exhale back to your downward facing dog. Great, work on your inhale, lift up your right leg. Bend your knee and open your hip. Okay, this time step between your hands. And just pause with your left knee lifted. Your hands on the floor in any way that's supportive. And start to give yourself some circles with the hips to the left and to the right. And then pause in some stillness. Okay, just keep your left hand down and send your right hand up, revolved angle. Okay, as your exhale, step to the front and forward fold. 8, inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. You can step back to your downward facing dog. Right on your inhale, lift up your left leg. Bend your knee, open your hip. It's like your legs are splitting away from each other. Great, step in between your hands, knee over ankle. Right knee is gonna stay lifted and you're just gonna do those big circles on your mat. loosening up the hips. After that 90-minute of hips that I did last night, I need just a little extra time to loosen today. Great work. Right hand down, left hand up, revolt angle. With your next exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Use your strong legs and core as you rise. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold and step back to your downward dog. Nice, give your hips a little wiggle here. Bend your right knee, bend your left knee. One more time, bend the right. Bend the left. Okay, on your inhale, lift up your right leg. Bend your knee and open the hip. Great, and then step in between your hands, coming all the way up into a crescent lunge. Nice work. From this crescent lunge, just reach around, interlace your hands behind your head. And see if you can sit into this. Great work. From here, start to straighten through your right leg and then bow forward slightly. Nice, coming all the way back up, bend your right knee. Nice, straighten your right leg and bow forward. Inhale to come up. Exhale, bend your right knee. Beautiful. Inhale to come to straight leg. Exhale to bow one more time. And take your hands to your mat. And step your left foot just right up to near the middle of your mat. We're just going to pause here for a moment. See if you can feel your tailbone reaching straight back and the crown of your head reaching straight forward. Nice work. Stepping your back foot all the way to the front of your mat, full forward fold. And inhale, rise up to tall mountain. Nice, exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold and step back, down dog. Nice, lift your left leg up. Bend your knee and open your hip. Keep splitting those legs away from each other. And step your left leg in between your hands. Come into your crescent lunge. Nice, and then interlace your hands behind your head again. Other pinky on top. If you lose your balance like me, just come back in. Great, your right heel's lifting high. If you want for this, you can plant your right heel down, and you can do the same straightening through the left leg with the right heel down, and then that bow forward. Nice, lift up. Bend into your left knee. It might be a lot, might be a little. Straighten your left knee. And bow forward, pressing your left hip back. Nice, inhale, come up. Exhale, bend your left knee. Nice, inhale, straighten left knee. Exhale, bow forward. Nice, inhale, come up. Exhale, bend your left knee. Great, inhaling to come up. And step your right foot right to the middle of the mat. Nice, take an inhale breath. And exhale, bow over top of your left leg. Yes, just pausing here. Feeling that left hip press back. If your right heel is lifting off the floor, you can just walk your right foot in until your right heel goes down. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your feet to the front of the mat. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise up, tall mountain. Nice. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to your downward facing dog. Really nice work. Just see if you can pause in your dog here, sending lots of energy from the pads of your fingers, from the knuckles of your fingers, all the way up the sides of your body, right to your hips as your hips lift up. Inhale, lift up your right leg. Bend your knee and open your hip. You can step your right leg in between your hands. Okay, this time start to walk your hands over towards the horizontal side of your mat. Okay, take an inhale, lengthen, lift your spine. With your exhale, start to walk your hands over towards your right leg. So your knees can be slightly bent here, or they can be more straight if you want. Okay, so just place that right hand on top of your left hand and let your head dangle or rest on your left tricep. You might feel some weight shifting forward here. Just feeling that deep stretch. Let's inhale, bring your hands back through to the center. And exhale, walk your hands all the way over towards your left ankle. Great, and then take your left hand on top of your right hand. And see if you can shift some weight forward. Breathe into your right rib cage. Okay, start to walk your hands forward, back to the front side of your mat. Pivot all of your toes to face the front side of your mat and walk your right foot wide to the edge of your mat. Okay, step your left knee down onto the floor for your lizard. So you might be on the palms of your hands, you might be on the pads of your fingers, you might be on a pillow. If you want to prop yourself up like that. Just see if you can feel your right heel drawing towards your left knee and your left knee drawing towards your left wrist. If you're feeling more open and you want to come down to your elbows, that's also an option. One more breath here. Great. Untuck your left knee, so lift it all the way up. Nice, and then take a big step back to your downward facing dog. Give your hips a wiggle. On your inhale breath, lift up your left leg. Bend your left knee, open the hip, split the legs. And step in between your hands. This time you're going to walk your hands to the other horizontal side of your mat. And then you're going to walk your hands forward. So it's going to be like you're in a really long forward bend. Your knees can be soft, they can be bent if you need them to be bent. Feeling lots of length from your finger pads all the way up to your hips. Great, start to walk your hands back underneath of your body. And you're gonna walk your hands all the way back to the front side of your mat. And walk your left foot off the left side of your mat. And tap your right knee down onto the floor. There, and then again, you can be on palms, you can be on elbows, you can be at whatever height you need to be at for your spine to stay long here. Sometimes we go really low, the back starts to curve and it's hard to take a full breath, so just finding a place where you can breathe, really. Is feeling that action, your right knee pulling towards left heel. You'll feel that really deep stretch in the front of your right hip. One more breath in and out. Great, inhale, fill up. Lift your right knee and exhale back to your downward facing dog. Nice. Take a full breath in and a long sigh out. Just come forward into a high plank. And bring your knees back all the way to a child's pose. From your child's pose, just start to take your right hand and reach it palm face up around to your left leg. Okay, you can take your right hand back onto your mat. And then take your left hand, palm face up, and wrap it around to your right leg. Just one more breath there. And start to take your left hand back onto your mat. And we're gonna walk ourselves forward onto our belly buttons. And bring your legs back behind you, just about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. And start to bring your hands back beside your body, and maybe a little bit wider than you typically would. Keep your pelvis on the floor, ground your forehead. And on your next inhale breath, lifting up to a cobra. So you don't have to go up very high if you don't want to. You see if you can bring your shoulders away from your ears. I brought my hands in a little bit more in line with my shoulders and my elbows. That might feel more supportive for you if you try that. You see if you can just take one more deep breath here. Great, and then exhale, get your forehead all the way back down onto your mat. And bring your arms back behind you. Take a full breath in. And a big breath out. Okay, just plant your palms. Lift yourself all the way up and back for downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, lift your right leg all the way up. Bend your knee and open your hip. Great, and then step onto the outside of your right hand again. Tap your left knee down to the floor, you're back in your lizard. Hands wherever they need to be to support you. And this time we're gonna twist. You're gonna roll onto the outside edge of your right foot, and then take your right hand to your right inner thigh. And gaze up towards the right. Pull your right heel towards your left knee. Nice, and twist from your core. Nice, if you want to go deeper, you can take your right hand up towards the ceiling or your right hand to your left foot. One more breath. Great work. Take your right hand back down onto your mat. Lift your left knee up. And start to walk your right foot over towards your left hand. And come down into your half pigeon. If you want, you can take your pillow and tuck it underneath of your right hip if you want some added support. And feel as if your right glute, your right butt cheek is drawing back right towards your left knee again. So you can stay up if you want. I'm gonna come to my elbows. Again, you want the shoulders away from the ears. So pick a position where you can breathe fully into your whole rib cage. Great work. Take another deep breath here. Great. And then you're going to start to just come back up to your hands, your palms. From here, bring your left leg around to the front side of your mat. And we're going to come into double pigeon. So we're going to keep working on that right hip. Stack your right ankle over top of your left knee. Woo. And feel that stretch. So if your knee is like this, that works too. If you want a little bit of a switch up, you can straighten through that left leg as well. And you'll still work that right hip. Great. So from here, let's inhale, reach the hands all the way up. With the exhale, take your hands back behind you, fingertips pointing forward. Just feel your heart lift up. Inhale. Nice. Exhale, gaze forward. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, gaze forward. One more time. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, gaze forward. Nice. Rock yourself forward. And step yourself back to down dog. Definitely can feel that right side. I don't know about you. Let's lift up the left leg. Inhale. Bend the left knee, open the hip. And then step onto the outside of your left hand for that lizard on this opposite side. Taking 5 full deep breaths here before we start the twist. Really just starting to get the hip nice and open. Get the front of the right quad open as you pull that right knee forward. It feels like you're just dragging it forward slightly. Great. And then start your twist with your right hand somewhere supportive. It could maybe even be on a block. Left hand to your inner thigh. Roll on the outside edge of your left foot. And then gaze maybe up just past your left shoulder. Again, if you want to go deeper, left hand up or left hand to your right foot. Three more deep breaths. back in lizard, not twisted. Plant your left foot, lift your right knee. And you're just gonna walk your left foot over to your right hand to come down into your half pigeon on your opposite side. You can bring your pillow just underneath your left hip if that works for you, and then walk yourself onto maybe your elbows. If you're feeling quite open, you want to take your heart all the way onto your mat, that works too. Okay, this is that part where sometimes the body starts to feel some resistance, and it starts to feel like, oh man, I can't be in this anymore. I'll just ask you to take a deep breath when you get to that point. We have 2 more breaths here. Last one. So with your inhale, come back up onto your hands. I must admit, this is feeling pretty sweet tonight. This time you're gonna bring your right leg around to the front side of your mat. You're gonna stack your left leg over top of your right leg this time. Right, again, it might look like this, and that works too. Just find a place where you can have your sits bones on the floor on your mat. You can sit up tall with a nice long spine. Great. Well, inhale, reach the hands up again. Exhale, bring your hands back behind you. Your fingertips are pointed forward. You can be up on the pads of your fingers. Your palms don't have to be flat down. So we're just slightly inhaling, lifting the heart. Right, and with your exhale, just gaze forward. Release the lift of the heart. Inhale, lift heart. Gaze up. Exhale, lower the lift. One more time. Inhale, lift the heart, gaze up. Exhale, lower the lift. Really nice work. Rock yourself forward. I know it's awkward a little bit, but you're gonna find your way back to your downward facing dog. And just give a couple of nice, really big rolls in the hips there. Let your head dangle. Pause in a long breath, down dog. Okay, from your downward facing dog, just start to come down onto your knees and bring your hips back to your heels. Gorgeous. So we're gonna come into camel pose. You're gonna come up onto your knees, just so we can get a nice opening in the front of the body here. The goal here is to feel like your hips are pressing into an imaginary surface in front of you. So we're gonna bring the hands to your lower back, pinkies, fingers, all your fingers pointing downwards. Again, inhale, press your knees down, lift the heart. With your exhale, gaze back behind you. Great, inhale to come all the way back up. Chin's last to come up. Exhale, hips back to your heels. Just rest on your hands on your thighs for one breath. And we'll take a second camel pose. So come back up onto your knees and bring your hands to your lower back, your fingertips pointing down. Tuck your toes behind you for this one. If you feel like you want to reach for your heels with your hands this time, go ahead. or take any other variations that you know. I know there's some of you who are definitely into your back bend. So let's inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, start that bend back. Reach for the heels if it's there. The goal is to imagine your hips pressing into that imaginary surface in front of you. Inhale to come up. Your chin will tuck towards your heart. And then we're going to exhale all the way back to child's pose. Coming all the way back up. We're just gonna scoot over onto your bum and come into Janu Shirshasana. So your left leg's gonna tuck in near your right upper thigh, and your right leg's gonna extend to the top right corner of your mat. Okay. And then on an inhale breath, reach your hands all the way up. Your exhale, bring your heart to face your foot and bow towards your right knee. We'll just flow a little bit. So you're gonna inhale, reach the top of your head and your heart towards your foot. And then exhale, bow and curl. Again, inhale, lift your heart and your head towards the top of your foot. And then exhale, tuck your chin around your spine as you bow. One more time, inhale, lift. And then exhale, bow. Just let your head fall heavy as you pause here. And breathe into your lower left hip. One more breath here. And then inhale to slowly roll up. Nice. Extend your left leg out in front of you. So now you're in sort of a wide-legged stance. Take your pillow if you have one and tuck it underneath of your bum. If you don't have one, that's okay too. You don't need one. Great. And then just some nice rolls through the ribs, some circles forward and the other way. Okay, bring your arms out beside you. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, start a forward bend right to the center. You're starting to feel just the upper part of your inner thigh and your two glutes spread away from each other. Feel free to go as low to the earth as is available to you. This is where I'm at today. Never, ever, ever hold you back from going to your own depth. One more breath here. And then inhale to sit up nice and tall. Tuck your right foot in. You can untuck that pillow. Great, bring your arms out to the sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pivot your heart to face your left foot. And exhale, start that bow. And breathe into the lower part of your right rib. If you're feeling like this right leg is uncomfortable, you might walk it forward slightly and create a little more space in your body. It's continuously breathing into that right side of your body. Let's inhale, reach the forehead and the heart towards the left foot. Exhale, bow. 2 more times, feeling the heart and the forehead reach towards your left foot. And exhale, bow. 1 more time, feel the heart and the forehead reach towards your left foot. This time we'll just bow and pause. Feels as if the left hip is pulling back slightly. Great, and then inhale to start to roll yourself up. Nice. And walk your legs all the way around to the front side of your mat. Grab your hamstrings, roll yourself down onto your spine. So just give the front of the hips a quick little stretch here. So place your palms down, take an inhale. Your exhale, just a really loose bridge here. You could even just stick your pillow under you. And then take your hips all the way back down onto your mat. Drop your knees out towards the left. Okay, and then lift the knees, drop your knees to the right. Bring your knees back through to the center. And extend your legs straight out in front of you. We're in your final Shavasana here. So get into your most comfortable Shavasana, whatever you need to do that. This is that part where you just let every thought come and then go. Not holding on too tightly to any one particular thought. Not holding on too tightly to any one particular part of your body. Not holding on to your breath, just letting yourself breathe naturally. Definitely hope that you'll stay in your Shavasana maybe a little longer. And thanks for coming to practice with me tonight. From my heart to yours, namaste.